Are you ever wondering what is going through a girl's mind when you are out dating or meeting a girl? I'm here today with Harriet from Love of Your Life. She helps women to love their life. So Harriet, you're a bit of an expert on women and women's dating. So what I want to ask on behalf of the guys today is, what are some things that they need to be thinking about when they might be out at a bar or in the daytime and see a pretty girl that they'd like to go and meet? What are some of the things that guys need to be aware of before and when they actually approach these girls?
That's a really great question. Guys, I'm sure sometimes you find that women are sometimes repelled when you do some things, and then sometimes you do the right thing in the moment and it's just right. We're strange creatures. However, there are some real basics. There are some basics that you must master. There's 3 things I would love to share with you. The first thing that it's really important to do is to actually not be too crazy. A lot of guys go up to ladies and are like, "Hey, how are you?" And they're really loud and obnoxious. The first thing that you really want to do is actually meet them where they are, or maybe just a little bit above, just so that they're not too scary. Because you're actually quite a lot bigger than us ladies. We're short sometimes, and when a tall man comes up to you who's bigger than you, it's actually quite scary and intimidating. So you need to be kind of a bit calmer. So meet them at their level. The second thing I'd say is, when a woman is alone, standing by herself in the bar, it's not the best time to approach her. If she's by herself, it's going to be quite scary when a male just comes up to you and starts, approaching and talking to you, simply because she's by herself. From centuries back, if a woman is by herself, it's a scary thing. And we still have that programming. And thirdly, something that I'd really like to know, I'm sure you'd love to know to really, really help you. When you're about to initiate an interaction with a woman, you want to sort of have your body at a certain angle. This is 45 degrees. We absolutely feel our most comfortable when there's a 45-degree angle, almost like how me and Ben are sitting right now. So those are the 3 things that I think are most beneficial.
Okay, so not being too high energy. Okay, so not sort of, okay, like see what the sort of energy level she's at and maybe come in just sort of around that or maybe a little bit above. What was the next thing?
The next thing that's really important to know is if a woman's by herself, you want to stay away.
Okay, so if a woman's by herself, standing there by herself, just know that she might be a little bit shy, a little bit nervous, okay? She doesn't have her friends around her for safety, as it were. It's still an old-fashioned, hardwired thing in her head. So obviously not being too intense, okay? If she's by herself, maybe wait till she's back with some friends and she feels a bit safer or there's lots of people around. And lastly, not being too...
in their personal space.
In their personal space.
That's my word for it anyway. So yeah, the 45-degree angle.
Okay, so keeping that 45-degree angle, it's like you're not really confrontational. Like if you're facing someone directly, it's kind of almost like you're having a meeting with your boss, So you want to be kind of like a little bit more open, and that way she's not going to feel like it's as intense for her. So great tips there. Now let's talk about some more stuff. So once a guy has actually made the effort to come up and talk to you, what are some things that he can do to help you feel comfortable and like you'd like to continue the conversation?
Awesome. Really good question. I think a lot of men, they feel that they have to go up and compliment a woman right away. I love your hair, I love your shoes. But realistically, we want a normal interaction. And the very best way just to get a female feeling happy and feeling comfortable with you is just to ask a nice, simple question. Something like, "Hey, what's the coolest thing you've done today?" Or, get into a really simple interaction right away. So you begin the trust. Some guys, they open conversations and they're just too wacky and out there, and it can make a woman, not feel comfortable. As I was saying just before, with a massive compliment right away, we're kind of defensive when it comes to someone who's brand new, who we do not know.
Okay, that's awesome feedback. And so say you are having a good conversation with a guy, he's come and he's made you feel comfortable and he's asked you a nice question and things are going well. What are some sort of conversation topics that you think would be, or ways of steering the conversation that are going to keep the conversation alive and allow you to sort of build a nice connection with a guy? What are some things that you think would be good topics to bring up?
Really good question. For me and for a lot of the females that I coach, we love talking about what we love, the things that we're passionate about in our lives. One of my favorite questions, to get to myself or to tell the ladies to even ask back to the men and that they love talking about is, what do you love in your life right now? Anything that's going to get us feeling animated, anything that's going to get us feeling natural. Because as soon as we get into our flow, it's going to make it so much easier for the man who's wanting to have the conversation.
Exactly, that's actually a really good answer. So just by asking her what are the things that she's passionate about, what are the things that you love to do in life? Yeah? Okay, yeah. All right, that's really helpful. So the guy's having a great conversation with you and so on. When it comes to setting up a date or asking for a phone number, what are some things that a guy needs to consider that's going to make you more inclined to say yes to his request for your phone number or for him wanting to go on a date with you?
Good question. One of the things that I get our ladies to do is to break it down, make it easy, make it really simple for her to say yes, and obviously say the same back, right? Yeah. So when you're asking her on a date, you need to give a compliment right away. I've enjoyed chatting with you. This has been great. However, I've got something else that's going on. It's a friend's party, or I'm at a barbecue, or I'm walking to work, whatever it may be. And then just say, I'd love to continue this conversation. I'd love to spend some time with you. Have you got 20 minutes in the next few days where you can, we can sit down and get to know each other a bit better? The key is just getting to know each other better. When we feel, oh my God, I want to go on a date to the movies, or I want to take you out for dinner, it's too much pressure. And we feel, I'm out with my friends, or I'm doing this other thing. It's kind of a bit of an inconvenience, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So keeping it simple, yeah.
Okay, so guys, when we're asking girls on a date, we need to have it in a really simple context and maybe even have a time restraint on it. Like you said, something like a 20-minute date. So set up something like, a coffee, like let's quickly go grab a coffee. Do you have 20 minutes in the next week or so where we could catch up for something pretty low key? Yeah?
Absolutely,
cool.
yeah.
All right, that's awesome. So guys, it's been great having Harriet here today to answer these questions for us. If there's any other questions that you would like us to ask Harriet, as she's an expert on women's perspective of dating, then definitely comment, send in your questions to us. We'd love to answer those. And also, if there's a guy out there who, after watching this, you think, you know what, this guy, he would really benefit from knowing this information, then share it. Share it around, because it's so helpful. We've got to help our bros out. We've got to look after each other out there. It's a tough world. We're out there. We've got to work out which are the right girls and so on. So if we can help out our buddies with this stuff, make sure you share it. Spread the awesomeness. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Harriet. Subscribe. We'll see you soon.